Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar this morning. We're just going to wait for a few more people to come on board and I will start. Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to take you through our webinar this morning, and this is really going to concentrate on recruitment. So I'm guessing that you that are watching this are looking to expand your business, obviously through a process of recruitment. Many of you may not know me, so I'll just explain briefly how I got involved with Forever, which was over 25 years ago. I joined Forever in, it was June 1995. Prior to that date, I'd spent virtually the previous 20 years building a very successful property investment business that turned into a development business. And I was doing very well. I was doing more than very well. I had it made, basically. In the late 80s, I'd got everything probably any man could really ever want. Unfortunately, when the recession started to bite in the early 90s, started to affect my business. And literally within a few years, I was completely broke. I lost everything in the period of about 2 years, which was devastating to me. I lost everything, but I also still owed the bank over £250,000. Not a good position to be in. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to do. And a guy that I'd met just once called me and asked me if I'd like to come and have a look at an opportunity. And I said yes. I was extremely skeptical because I knew kind of what it was going to be. Turned up at our head office at Longbridge in Warwick, and to my surprise, it was nothing like I expected it to be. To put it bluntly, I just saw something that I thought was quite incredible. Never heard of aloe vera in my life. I'd never heard of Forever Living, obviously. And I got started. Didn't really know what I was doing. Fortunately, my sponsor was a networking pro. He'd been doing it for a while, and he was one of my initial coaches. And so we started the process. And it was a very exciting ride, learning, experiencing, and eventually really having everything that Forever had to offer. So Louise and I have achieved everything on the marketing plan, all the incentives. We've been traveling the world with Forever for over 20 years, chairman's bonus checks, etc., etc. So it's my pleasure to take you through what we actually do in our business. And what I'd like to first of all start with, and this is something that I have used very, very often, that people overestimate what they can achieve in 12 months, in 1 year, and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And you'll see as I go through the presentation what this actually means. This is about consistency over a period of time. And I can't tell you how many times over the years someone has come in excitedly, rushed into the business, probably done a few things they shouldn't really have done. You tried to coach people, but they still make the occasional mistake. And what happens is that they get a bit disillusioned because the success isn't coming quickly enough for them. And this is such a shame because this is a slow burn business. This is not a get rich quick scheme. I think you already know that. It's a business and you have to build a business. And the better you build the foundation of the business, the more solid and secure you will be for the rest of your life, not just for a year or 10 years. You can see from the two pictures we've got here. So when you got involved with Forever, what was your plan? Was it the top one? Yes, this is going to be a lovely level ride. Or the reality starts to bite when you look at the obstacles that suddenly appear. Now, this quote is from Bill Gates, who is actually the third richest man in the world currently, worth around 111 billion US dollars. did that in 45 years. There are some people in forever that in a few years' time will have been doing forever for 45 years. I've been doing it for 42. So I'll just ask this question. The two images that you can see on your screen, which one of these images best reflects your life? Because your forever business will be like your life. Your forever business is already in your life. And there are obstacles, and we have to accept that. And the people that are really successful in forever have hit lots of obstacles. Actually, some of them are real, but a lot of them are imagined, particularly in the early years of a business. People imagine all kinds of things. And life never runs smoothly, and your forever business will never run smoothly. So, 3 things you need to succeed. Now, I like this quote from Christopher Morley. You've probably never heard of him, but Christopher Morley is actually quite a famous American journalist and author. And there's only one success: to be able to spend your life in your way and not give others absurd, maddening claims upon it. So just think about that for a moment. Who at the moment makes maddening claims on your life? Maybe your employer? I don't know. So what do we need to have the things and spend our life in our own way? Well, we need a vehicle for that. And when I saw Forever all those years ago, that's where I looked at Forever. I looked at it as a vehicle for me to get really potentially back to where I was before. That was right, that was in deep in my mind, that potentially I could get back to the kind of lifestyle I'd enjoyed for many years before. But the reality was, at the time, Forever was the vehicle just to get my life back on track. Because you can imagine, maybe you can imagine, life was a bit hectic for me back then. I'd had all these lovely things and a great income, and suddenly it all just disappeared over a period of a couple of years. And it took a lot of adjustment from my point of view. And I was just looking to get my life back onto some kind of level playing field. Just to earn £1,000 a month or £2,000 a month was a big thing, because I was literally earning nothing. So we need a vehicle, whatever that might be, in this case, Forever. We need a manual of how to do it. And of course, you'll belong to a team, you have a sponsor and you have a team. And we have manuals, we have First Steps to Manager, etc., trainings, webinars, seminars, and hopefully in the next few months we'll be able to get back to live seminars, which will be just great. But we need the fuel. So the first two are just provided, they're there. We can access them. In fact, anyone can access them. But the fuel is your mindset, and that's what you need to supply. Forever, your sponsor, your team cannot supply that. You need to supply the right mindset to move your business forward. And of course, there are an awful lot of books about mindset that you can read, but it is a key to success in our business. This is another quotation I've used for many, many years. I first came across it, funnily enough, when we were working in Ireland over 20 years ago. Quite interesting. It's a Chinese proverb, so no one knows who actually wrote it. But it says, as you can see on the screen, if you want a year of prosperity, grow grain. If you want 10 years of prosperity, grow trees. If you want 100 years of prosperity, grow people. Now, you think of our business, you think of the philosophy of Rex Morn. What has Rex Morn and the Morn family been doing for 42 years? Building people. This is a people business. And if you want lifetime financial security, then it's all about the people in and around you, and obviously in your forever business. So here we go, going on, Christopher Morley. We need to understand the numbers. I think that if we paint our opportunity, or the people that are viewing this today will have been in the business for various lengths of time, maybe a few months, maybe a few years, maybe as long as I've been in the business. But we have to explain to people the reality at some point, that this road will not be full of people who will just jump into your business and create substantial turnover and obviously help you financially. And this is from Eric Worre, who's a huge network marketing kind of mentor globally. And if you haven't, I would suggest you read this book, Go Pro. I think it's a must read for anyone getting involved in networking, considering getting involved, or already is involved and not read this book. It's a key book as far as I'm concerned. And when I'm sponsoring new people, they get a copy of this book to read. So this is the reality of our business. Now, this is network marketing globally. And with Forever being one of the world's largest network marketing companies, these figures are reflected within the Forever business as well, the reality. So this is about an established business. This is not about your 3-month-old or your 6-month-old or even your 12-month-old business. This is about a business that's been established for a number of years. This is the reality, that all the people involved in this business, which includes obviously all the people, apart from the people you've sponsored, so all the people your team has sponsored, et cetera, duplication. Out of every 100 people, 70% of those people will be consumers. Now, they've probably registered with Forever, probably bought the box, the Start Your Journey pack, just to get that discount. There'll be a number of those. 20% will just be social enrollers, just doing this business very, very casually, using product obviously, and just sort of, sponsoring maybe the odd family member to get a discount on the product to become a preferred customer or more. So that's 90% of 100 people, 9 out of 10 people will be. And when I looked at this many years ago, when I got this from Eric at one of his seminars in the United States, I checked our business on 360, and these numbers reflect our business, a 25-year-old business. If you ask Jane or Adam or any of the other leaders, this is probably the numbers that they will come down to, the percentages. So 90% will be basically using product. Are they important? Of course, they're very, very, very important to us, because a huge portion of your check will be people from the 90%. A lot of your bonuses will be from that 90%. That leaves 10%. So how do we break down the 10%? Well, you're probably looking at the 10% of people out of every 100, 10 out of every 100, will be people who are 4CC active. So every single month they're 4CC active. Now, that breaks down into 5% will be retailers. They'll be retail recruiters. So they'll be retailers, they'll have good retail businesses, and they'll be recruiting retailers into their business, probably bringing in 3 to 5 people per annum on average. Then you've got 3%, and 3% will be recruiting for the business. So this is the top 5% of people in an established team will be constantly looking for new recruits, probably 6 to 9 a year on average. 2% are super recruiters. So if you're sponsoring more than 10 people per year on average, you are in the super recruiter category. So they are the numbers. Now, I love this quote from Christopher Morley: big shots are little shots who keep shooting. There's no difference between the people watching this and the top leaders of Forever globally. There's no actual difference between you. The difference is they've spoken to more people and therefore they have a bigger team. That's it. They have the same opportunity that we all have, but how we approach it and how we go about our business means that they've built big businesses, probably in lots of other countries around the world. So I hope you get that. The big shots are just little shots that just keep on shooting. By consistent work and effort, they actually become the big shots, the people we look up to on stage at our rallies. So what do you need to be a super recruiter? Well, the first thing you need is confidence. You need confidence in what you're doing. Now, that takes different lengths of time for different people. So people can come into this business and they can feel super confident quite quickly. With others, probably the majority, it takes a while to build up that kind of confidence. And of course, with Forever, the confidence starts with the product. So we're looking at confidence in the products that we are actually working with and distributing out to end consumers. But we also need confidence in our company, Forever. You need to know about Forever, its history, its philosophy. We also need to have confidence in network marketing as an industry globally. And as you know, network marketing is worth, well, the latest figures for 2018, I think it's about 193 billion US dollars is the size of the network marketing globally, and it's growing every year. And over the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to grow probably exponentially because of the situation that we find ourselves in currently. We need the knowledge. We need the knowledge, and that's the reason for webinars like this. It's the reason Forever do webinars at the moment. It's the reason we do trainings. We hold trainings across the country, across the world. It's you have to get the knowledge. So how do you get the knowledge about the business? Reading, attending seminars. Obviously, you get a lot of knowledge from your sponsor, from your team, from your upline team, from your the greater team of people you're involved with. Same with confidence. You will piggyback their confidence, certainly in the early months. So a lot of this information is coming from people like myself who are experienced, been doing it a long time, and can guide you in the right way to build this business. It's all about building the right foundations. And the third thing is you need a reason why. So again, something that you need to supply. We can't do that for you. We can give you all the knowledge, and we can get the confidence as well instilled into you. But what we can't do, we can't give you a reason why. That's a very, very personal thing. Why are you doing this? And that's the key. And I will just say that in the first year or two of my business, I learned an awful lot. I wanted to build it quickly. I didn't want to hang around, but I learned very, very quickly. And one thing that I learned is when we're speaking to people is to ask questions, but we need to find out what their reason why would be. And what I did, I kind of would ask them a question, simple questions like, would you like to earn some extra money? And everyone says yes to that. And I'd say, okay, that's a reason why. That was in my mind, reason why. And I would instantly go into a presentation. Let me show you this, and show them all the facts and the figures. And then I was coached to say, well, hang on a minute, just stop for a second. When you ask them, would like to earn some extra money, why don't you just say, when they say yes, as everyone does, why? Ask them another question. Why? What's that money going to be for? What's the whole idea of this? Because until you get to the nitty gritty of that, of their why, it's difficult to totally support someone. If you know their why and it's very clear, then you can help them to achieve that why. If they don't know where they're going, if they just say, oh, I want to earn lots of money, well, that's not really good enough. You need to know why. What are they going to do with it? Because it's not the money that will motivate them. It's the things that the money will bring them that motivates them. Now, the strap line at the bottom here, as you can see, this is not a recruitment scheme because we're only paid on the movement of product. In fact, when we sponsor someone and we get that bonus, when we first, assistant supervisors upwards get a bonus when they sponsor someone where they start your journey pack or even with loose product. That bonus isn't a recruitment bonus. The bonus actually is just part of the marketing plan, because when they come in, they will get a discount on that box or loose product. The difference between their discount and the discount level you're on, which would be 35% if you're an assistant supervisor, is what you get as that recruitment bonus. So you're not paid to recruit them, it's just part of the process, because in that box is product, you get paid on the movement of product, you get the bonus on the product, that's it. And I sometimes I have to bite my tongue when people say to me, oh, this is just a recruitment scheme, you can't get anywhere in this unless you recruit loads of people. I have to stop and say, hang on a second, we're no different to any other business. We're constantly expanding. If you're constantly expanding, you need new people in the business. If Forever or any legitimate network marketing company is called a recruitment scheme, you can say, well, you might as well call Amazon a recruitment scheme then. And they look at you a bit strangely. So, well, what do Amazon do? How many people do you think Amazon have recruited since the beginning of the year? I've no idea how many, but it's interesting to find out. They're constantly recruiting. Supermarket chains, constantly recruit, like Aldi, particularly, and Lidl, who are expanding in this country. I think Lidl, I think I read, are opening a store a week in the UK. Well, excuse me, to run those stores, they need to recruit people. Without people, they can't run the store. So to call what network marketing is, essentially, is a recruitment, is just a complete and utter nonsense, because we're constantly expanding and recruiting people and growing. And in actual fact, every person in your business, every team member is a separate business. It's like another branch of your business, like Aldi or anyone. Recently Aldi and Lidl have hit headlines, but Asda or Sainsbury's or Tesco, they're opening new stores. They need to recruit more people. So huge companies have very large HR departments because they're constantly recruiting, even if they're actually not expanding their branch network, say in terms of supermarkets, because people leave, people retire, people want to change, industries. So they need to be constantly recruiting, and we need to be doing the same. So the recruitment gateway to the forever opportunity, because obviously you understand for the larger incomes, if that's what you would like to achieve, you have to get people into your team. You have to get people yourself into your team and coach your team to bring people in if they want to build any kind of substantial income. So let's have a look at 5. We always talk about the number of 5. You might say, why do we do that? Well, we do the number of 5 because it's an easy number for people to work with. It's a small team. And if you're doing this part-time, which most will be initially, it's an easy number to work with. That's why we use the power of 5. But if you have 5 people join your business, your plan, sponsor 5, I've got 5 potential diamond managers. Yep, doesn't work like that. The reality, again, is what you see on the screen. The reality is, on average, 2 don't start at all. They buy a box, use the product, maybe become users of the product, consumers of the product, absolutely fine. 2 are slow start, and 1 is a fast start. So probably to find those 5 key people, potentially diamond managers, you probably need to recruit about 25 people. That's the reality of it. Please don't think you can just recruit a small number of people and it's just going to automatically expand and grow and you're going to get rich. It's not going to work like that. And quote here from Aristotle, another one I like: we are what we repeatedly do. So excellence then is not an act, it's a habit. People become good at something, people become successful at something because they're consistent, and we are what we repeatedly do. And that example of 2 don't start, 2 slow start, 1 fast start, it's the reality. I've been doing this a long time. Ask any of the leaders that have been in forever in the UK for a number of years. They'll tell you exactly the same thing. That's how it works. It's just the way it is. It's the way the world is. We pick people up, we move them on with excitement and energy, and at some point they may fall back to where they started. It's just the same, and I'm sure you've heard this example many times. People join a gym, go once and don't bother going again. People start a diet plan, they'll do it for a day or 2 and then stop. It's the way life is. It's human nature. And the reason for this is because these people that we're bringing into our team are volunteers. They're volunteers. We're not conscripting them into this business. They're volunteers. And this happens for a million reasons, which I never ever go into because there are so many reasons. You could be talking all day about it. People just decide to change, and they decide that this opportunity maybe is not for them. And I'm sure a lot of you viewing this will have had experience of this already with this example. So this is actually my screensaver on my MacBook and my phone. And Anthony Robbins, if you don't know Tony Robbins, is a motivational speaker, very famous around the world, but mainly the United States. I've been to a number of his seminars. In fact, I've been to one in London, the Excel Centre, many years ago with Adam and a group. But we've been to see Tony in the United States. He is quite amazing. But this is, I think, a very, very important quote to constantly bear in mind. No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you're still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. And that's constantly on my MacBook and on my phone. And it's important to all of us that we know that because we are making the effort and trying, we're far more likely to succeed than just sitting around waiting for something to happen. So, enjoy the recruiting process. This shouldn't be a bind. It should be an enjoyable process. And I'll tell you, many, many years ago, Rex Morn said to me, Ashley, if you're not having fun doing this business, you're not doing it right. So we make the whole activity of our business a fun endeavor. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are going to be frustrations. Believe me, there's going to be frustrations, but you have to withstand that, because this business bear in mind, we're helping people. No matter what the naysayers say about our opportunity, we're helping people with their health and well-being, obviously, but we're helping people to change their financial situation. And that's a great thing to do. We have a great gift in our hands to offer people the opportunity. So most don't take it. Some bite, very occasionally. But, you know, the prize is in the process, according to Baron Baptiste, who's a massive yoga guru. The prize is in the process. So, like with physical activity, if you're going to the gym for whatever reason, to lose weight or get big, it won't work if you're not enjoying the process. I know people just don't enjoy going to the gym. I actually loved, I don't go as often as I should now, but for many years I loved going to the gym. I really enjoyed the process. And that made a difference because I was able to achieve all the things I wanted to achieve in the gym. So enjoy the process, because by working your forever business, just doing the daily activity and reaching out to people, whether they're customers or whether they are recruits potentially for your business, making new friendships with people. And actually, I've made a few friends over the years of people that actually didn't join my business, just because I liked the person and we stayed in touch. New team members, if you're watching this and you haven't yet sponsored anyone, believe me, your whole mindset and the way that you look at this opportunity changes when you recruit your first person who wants what you want to achieve. That's the key. People bring in new ideas. You know, I've actually done one-to-ones, and people have just said something to me, mainly people from business backgrounds, have come up with this idea. I thought, crikey, in my mind, I'm thinking, that's a good idea. When I finish this, I'll go and check that out. People are always bringing new ideas. The excitement comes from working with a team. And all the frustrations that Louise and I had in the early years, Adam May, who's a very, very close friend and our go-to mentor, way back in the very early days, the first months and weeks, days of our business, he would say to me, just go and recruit someone, changes everything. He said it to me constantly. Just go, whatever conversation I had with Adam, he said, right, get out there and recruit somebody. And he was right. You go out there, you try, yes, people say no, someone comes into your team, wow, it's fantastic. This is all about the duplication process. So we want to make it a fun process. We want to make it enjoyable to do. We want to make it, this is a sociable business. And that all builds the momentum and moves the whole thing forward, moves your business forward, moves Forever UK forward, moves Forever forward globally as well. And I think that, if I just go to the next slide, this is another very, very good saying. It's why I've got it up here on the screen. Og Mondingo. If you don't know him, he's actually an American author. He was an insurance salesman, and he wrote a book that sold millions and millions and millions of copies, and it was called The Greatest Salesman in the World. But failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. And really, I think that applies to anything you do in life. This business is really all about talking to people, but it's about asking questions, more questions, more questions, more questions, to find out about them, to find out about what they do. Now, in our industry, there are hundreds and hundreds of books of different types that you can read. In terms of how we talk to people, how we approach them, the best approaches, and you will be being coached this by your sponsor and your team, obviously, but it doesn't hurt to read what other people say. So Alan Pease and his wife, easy peasy. Yeah, Alan actually wrote a book called The Questions Are the Answers, which is a very good book. Or this book, People Skills for Life, help you in all aspects of your life and not just in your forever business. Another one, The Prospecting Game. I mean, there's lots of these. Forever don't sell these books. We do use Knowledge is King, so you can go to Knowledge is King and get any of these type of books. The Prospecting Game. This is an excellent book. I've read this book 2 or 3 times. Network Marketing in 15 Minutes a Day. That's an interesting book. Big Al Schreifter, I can never pronounce that name. Big Al. These series of books are extremely good. Very, very easy to read. You read these on a short train journey or a short plane journey. And this one as well by him, Tom and Keith together. This is called Miniscripts. It just gives you more ideas, and these things sink into your psyche. What I'd like to do, just as we kind of closing, I'd like to read you something that we actually put on our business page today. So I'm just going to read this out because I think it's important about how we reach out to people and the questions that we ask. We are here in a business to reach out and help people with what they need, not with what they have decided they need help with. So they're making a choice. So we need to help people with what they need, not what we decide they need. Questions are the answers. What are the questions you may say? And here's a few ideas. Asking people what results do they want. So this applies to people just joining a business or people who've been in a business for a while. What results do they want? Number 2, what things do they hate? Find out from them what they hate. What things do they not want to do? That's a key. And again, with the business, you might come across a person who says, I don't want to speak to my family or friends about this. Well, that needs to be addressed, obviously. And you'll get coaching and mentoring from your sponsor and upline. What are they afraid of? And finally, why have they not achieved the result they're looking for on their own? Yeah, and this could be business results or really anything else. It could even come down to people wanting to go to the gym and get fit and they've not achieved that. So it's not just to do with the forever business. It can incorporate other things as well. So here are some examples that we put up on our page. I would really like to do something different from having a job, do something for myself, but I hate the thought of starting and failing and people saying, I told you that wouldn't work. So have you come across that one yet? That people are afraid of failure and that actually stops them from starting. I want to find a way to build things up slowly, but don't ask me to sell anything, as I am terrible at selling, especially asking people I know for their money. So how many people have come across that? Now, these things are very easy to get over, very, very simple to get over. In fact, the new systems that are coming in autumn, the preferred customer is a way that we can get around that issue, because the people who have that issue, and it's a block, you can say to them, well, you don't have to sell them, just point them to the website, point them to the company's website. They can go on, log on, and this is going to be, I think, a game changer in our business, because people can go on and become customers, and so you don't have to deal with them in terms of taking money off them. So just bear that one in mind. Until we have a conversation to find out what they want and what they don't want, you can push people in the right way. People will never build a business trying to persuade them to do things they don't like doing. So one of the lessons I learned, very honest, don't expect people to do what you're not prepared to do. So in Forever, we need to be prepared to do everything and experience everything. to make sure that, not just we're on the right track, but we're on the right track for us, for our own personality. So some people don't want to change, and some do. Some people, they don't think they can get customers, but they can, because the customers are all around us. So it's just so important to ask the right questions and to be interested in them. Obviously, people that you know, people that you're related to, you will know them quite closely, but a lot of questions still need to be asked to put you on the right track and potentially get them into your team if that's what you're looking to do. When you're speaking to people you don't know, ultimately, yes, you have to ask lots of questions. If someone is referred to you, for example, by a friend or a relative, you need to find out about them. I've learned it's no good just rushing into presenting them with facts and figures about Forever, how great we are and how great the products are and all that sort of stuff. You need to ask them lots of questions, because unless you do that and get their mind in the right place, then the information you then give them will not sink in, because they don't relate it to anything. But if you've spoken to them about what they're looking for in life, what they want to achieve, maybe what they haven't achieved, what the information that you give will be more relevant to them to help them. Some people will join Forever and that they actually give up on it before they've even sponsored one person, before they've really got to the fun bit, before they've got to the bit that really is life-changing. And really, in my view, it's like going out and buying a Ferrari and then deciding to sell it and never having got the car out of first gear. It's just, you think, well, how does that work? But that's just the way the world is, unfortunately. So please bear that in mind. And I would just like to say in finishing that I wish you all the best in your Forever journey. If we've not met before, when we get to obviously live events, please, if you want to just come and say hello, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. I'm sorry it's short. It's not really an in-depth training, but I hope you enjoyed the information I've shared with you today. And I wish you all the best. Take care, stay safe.